Salut, c'est Hugo. Aujourd'hui, je vous retrouve depuis la Corée du Sud et plus précisément dans la capitale, à Séoul. En Corée du Sud, on compterait aujourd'hui plus de 30 000 réfugiés ayant fui la Corée du Nord. Et il y a quelques jours, j'ai eu l'immense chance de rencontrer Ken Eom. Ken, il a grandi en Corée du Nord, il a été à l'université là-bas et il a même rejoint l'armée. Un jour, après avoir réussi à en apprendre davantage sur la vie à l'extérieur de la Corée du Nord, il décide de risquer sa vie et de fuir. Sans plus tarder, je vous propose donc d'écouter son témoignage sur son ex-vie en Corée du Nord, sa fuite et son arrivée ici.
I graduated from university in North Korea and then I spent a decade in North Korean military. In 2008, my family members escaped from North Korea, but at that time I did not know because I was in the army. The North Korean army, we cannot allow me to contact my family. That's why I did not know. Around 2010, at that time my military service is almost finished. I tried to apply for the Workers' Party membership, but my application was rejected more than 3 times. So I did not know why it's happened. But my superior officer said to me, my family was missing. But I was shocked. November in 2010, I did cross the border, which is so-called Amnok River, and I swam. At that time in winter time was so cold, but I had to do it. So after that, I reached the Chinese site, and then I met Chinese broker. It was a long journey. Journey is from the north of China to south of China, and then I had to cross another port, Laos and Thailand. Eventually, I got an airplane to South Korea. Okay, when I arrived here in South Korea first time, I felt really good and very excited. I could curse high-level officer and even include the president of South Korea, so nobody can touch me. But the different thing is, and hard thing is that the cultural differences and communication. We speak Korea, but there are a lot of different dialects, and also South Korean people when they have a conversation between each other, they could use a lot of English words. As my hometown is near the Chinese border, so I already know that China is richer than North Korea, and also South Korea is much better than North Korea. But I did not think about maybe I could go to South Korea. My hometown people can access the information about outside world through the Chinese border. Like me and some people watch the drama and movies as a South Korean and American movie, of course illegally. So not only this is actually a business because the North Korea TV channel is only one, 조선중앙 TV. Yeah. And yeah, of course, Pyongyang have more 3 channels. I heard about this. Right now 3 or 4, okay. But the other village, other location is just only 1 channel, which is really boring. It's always worship for the Kim regime and things like that. They really thirsty to get some information what's happening outside the world. Some business people buy some tape and then they sell them and people's watching. That's the case near the China, but inside the North Korea a little bit different. That the summit brought incredibly great atmosphere, which is where people can remind we are the same, we are the one, and we have to reunify again. It's not acceptable for Kim Jong-un because he has to apology first for the North Korean people, and also especially some North Korean prisoners who live in political prison camps. I heard about there are hundreds of thousands of North Korean prisoners in North Korean prison camp, political prison camps. This is horrible. One thing which is a little bit disappointed for me is that President Moon Jae-in could not say about North Korean human rights. Of course, I could understand his position, but violation of human rights is really horrible in North Korea. Even if some people who lived near the who lived near the border, they can already know some information about North Korea, about South Korea and outside world. They did not learn. They don't learn how to create democratic and how to improve their human rights. Most bothering things for Kim Jong-un is North Korean defectors. The North Korean defector can send the money to their family members who live in North Korea, and also they can make a phone call to their family members through the Chinese mobile network. Even if the North Korean government does not broadcast something happen, but North Korean defectors, they can make a phone call to those people and they are delivered what's happening outside the world to their family members. That's why he really afraid North Korean defectors, as like me, who speak out North Korean human rights and who send some information into North Korea.
Un des éléments que j'ai trouvé très intéressant dans le témoignage de Ken, c'est cette difficulté toute particulière qu'ont les réfugiés nord-coréens quand ils arrivent ici. En gros, l'arrivée en Corée du Sud, ce n'est pas évident et il y a souvent un long travail d'adaptation.
J'ai rencontré Ken dans le cadre d'une organisation basée ici à Séoul qui s'appelle Teaching North Korean Refugees. Cette organisation, elle vise justement à accompagner et aider les réfugiés nord-coréens qui arrivent à Séoul en leur proposant notamment d'apprendre l'anglais, une langue souvent mêlée ici au coréen et qui est souvent essentielle d'un point de vue professionnel.
So for a lot of them, they have the challenge that a lot of South Koreans are suspicious of them, that they might be spies. And then there are others who look down on them because their education levels or skill levels are lower. So they have that challenge. And then of course they have the challenge that we focus on, and that is English. That now English has seeped into the South Korean language. Companies also use English as a cutoff when it comes to job hiring. So they have a variety of challenges.
Aujourd'hui, Ken reconstruit donc sa vie ici à Séoul et étudie actuellement à l'université. À l'avenir, il pense mettre en place une ONG militant pour la réunification des deux Corées. Voilà, c'est tout pour cette semaine. J'espère que ce reportage vous aura inspiré. Je tiens à remercier l'organisation TNKR pour son accueil et Ken pour son témoignage évidemment. De mon côté, je vous dis à très vite.